Happy Thursday. This week feels like it is flying by to me. So I am talking to you this morning. Apparently no guests want to speak on Thursday, although I think next week you have a guest on Thursday. So, always got to keep you guessing. Just when you think it's a pattern, it's not. Changing it up. So I know a lot of you have probably listened to Gary Keller's Think Like a CEO podcast. If you haven't, I would highly recommend it. It's a great one. And one of the things that he teaches about and talks about are the three things that a CEO does. So how many of you on this call are CEOs? All of you are CEOs. You are CEOs of something. So you are a CEO first and foremost of your life. You call the shots. You are the boss, right? Obviously, there are spiritual conversations around that, but essentially you are the CEO of your life, right? You are the CEO of your children if they are young, right? In your homes, you probably have a CEO partner, maybe not, right? But we have leadership and CEO responsibilities in our homes. We are CEOs of our businesses, right? Every one of you that are independent contractors working for yourself, you are a CEO. So this morning, we're going to put on a CEO hat and we're going to talk about the three things that a CEO does. And that is number one, create energy. Number two, engage talent. And number three, we own results. So those are really pretty simple words. I think that we all know the definitions too, but just for clarity, I'm going to give you a specific definition of what it means to create. Okay. So to create is to bring into existence, to cause something to happen as the result of one's actions, to originate something. So the number one job of a CEO is to create energy. It doesn't say it's to have energy, to maintain our energy, to conserve our energy, to manage our energy. Now, all of those things are great conversations, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about a lot of that on Huddle before, right? But the number one job of a CEO is actually to create energy. So the question is are you purposely and intentionally creating energy in your life and in your business, right? So what actually creates energy? Well, I think there's a lot of things that create energy, but I think the number one thing in relationship to being a CEO is vision will always create energy, right? Thinking about the past rarely creates energy, right? Thinking about the present usually doesn't create energy, but thinking about the future, that is energizing, right? That actually creates energy. When we talk vision, when we talk future, when we talk possibilities, when we cast a bigger picture, right, of what we're building towards, if we look at why we're doing something, right, and what the future holds, that actually creates energy, right? So creating energy can come from vision, right? It can also, I believe, come from strategy. And I think so many times we do all of this stuff, but we don't do it with a bigger picture in mind, right? So we make our calls and we just make our calls. We farm a neighborhood, we just farm a neighborhood, right? There's no actual strategy that we're going, okay, this is where I'm going to start and I'm going to use these steps and incrementally build and grow on this. And by incrementally building and grow, creating a strategy, it will actually create energy. And another word I would use for energy would be momentum, right? To get you from point A to point B. So I would encourage you today is to look at your business and say, are you actually executing the strategy or are you executing a bunch of actions? Now, trust me, a strategy always has action items, but is it strategic, right? One of the things that we do when we sit down and we plan the calendar for the month, it's strategic, right? We don't just throw a bunch of classes on there without any thought to the bigger picture, right? We're looking at what is the market, what do our agents need right now? Who can attend these classes? How do we get guests and recruits to do classes that we're already doing in the market center, right? All of that has to do with strategy, right? It's purposeful, it's intentional. And when we do that, when we build win upon win upon win upon win, it will create momentum and it will create energy. So quit living just in the energy that you have and go out there and be a CEO and go create it. Okay, number 2, engage talents. All right, let me tell you what engage means. To occupy, to attract, or to involve someone's interest or attention, to participate or to become involved in, to arrange or employ or hire someone, right? So when we think about engaging talent, I think in my role, that's really clear, right? I need to engage the talent inside this market center. I need to involve you in conversation, right? And I need to attract talent from outside the market center. That's super clear. And all of you in your businesses also need to be attracting talent. You need to be engaging talent, right? So what is that talent that you need to engage? That could be different for every single one of you, right? For some of you, it is about hiring somebody and bringing people into your teams and organizations. You need to engage with talent. It doesn't say just engage with human beings, right? We're talking about being a CEO, right? Your job as a CEO is to engage with talent, right? So it could be in that sense. It could be who's the talent in your database that you need to be truly engaged with, right? That you need to be getting into conversation with. Those talent in your database are the people most likely to refer you, right? They're the most influential people. They're the connected people, right? They're the people that have the ability to drastically change your business because of one key relationship that you have, right? Who do you need to go out there and to engage in your business? Maybe it's engaging the talent of a coach. Maybe it's engaging talent within the market center, right? That's going to support you, that you're going to learn from, that you're going to grow from. Maybe it's reaching down and seeing a new agent that you go, that person's talent, I'm going to help them grow, right? What is the talent around you that you need to engage, pour into, and invest into that's going to multiply your results? And then the third thing is to own the results. And I will read to you what it means to own. Used with a possessive to emphasize that someone or something belongs or relates to the person or thing mentioned. To have as one's own, to possess. To admit or acknowledge that something is the case or that one feels a certain way, right? So when we talk about ownership, right, that's really an accountability conversation. But we're going to use the word ownership because the word accountability, I don't know, I always feel like has this negative connotation, like everybody just gets immediately, back stiff when we talk about accountability. But a CEO owns the results. And the beautiful thing about owning results is when you truly own the result, you get to own the good results too, right? If you don't own results when the numbers aren't good, I am sorry, but you don't get to own the results when the numbers are good, right? Because owning the results means you're taking accountability or you're taking possession, that the activities, that the strategy, that the energy and the talent that you have been creating and engaging are getting the results that you're getting, right? So whether they're good or whether they're bad or whether they're neutral, when you own them all, right? And truthfully, you have to know what those are. That means we have to know our numbers. A CEO knows their numbers, right? They know their metrics. They know their goals. They know where they're at in relation to their goals. They know where they need to be, right? What actions need to be having. And when you own those, you put yourself in the driver's seat, right? To be able to do something about it, right? I would gather that there's probably some of us on this call that are off right now from where we need to be with our goals. And what owning our results doesn't sound like is, well, the market never starts with, well, the market, right? It never starts with, well, my team, right? Because we're owning the results. Now, that doesn't mean we beat ourselves up about it, but when you own something, that puts yourself in the driver's seat to be able to go out there and to change the activity, right? To change the strategy, to create more energy, right? Owning the results, though, is the byproduct. All right. So that's your challenge today is if you do not have energy in your business, check your vision and check your strategy. Go out there and create it. Don't just maintain it. Number 2, engage talent. Who in your world do you need to be purposely engaging into relevant conversation with? Who are those game changers for you? And then the third is own the results.